Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, it's that time for another weekly roundup of terrible, awful, no good NFT nonsense. Because over the weekend, everyone's favorite 2K23 NPC, Dr. Disrespect, shared some interesting concepts regarding NFTs and the blockchain in games via Twitter. Imagine trying to extract with an item you discovered worth $100,000 on the chain. Think about entertainment value as a viewer, let alone player. A new PvP experience is upon us. The concept of digital collectibles in an online game is so exciting to me, especially an extraction type game. People saying scam and are just brain dead headline followers. Same people that spend a ton on skins for an annual release game. Same skins everyone has too. And I understand why he's doubling down on Web3 and blockchain, crypto and NFT and all that stuff, since his game studio, Midnight Society, is working to implement all of that into their upcoming game. Back in 2022, Forbes reported that Midnight Society has announced it is working with Polygon Studios to construct a game publishing platform on the Polygon blockchain where players can trade their in-game items freely without incurring high transaction fees or negatively impacting the environment. But just the concept of including it in your game is already impacting the gaming environment. You've changed what the game is from entertainment to a money-making opportunity, a second job. And with that, all of the dynamics change completely. It's no longer about fun or trolling or grief. It's about real stakes. And people will get really upset because money is involved. And that's assuming any of this will be worth money, because NFTs are really, at the end of the day, only worth what someone's willing to pay for them. And so he can talk about $100,000 of ETH or whatever the hell, but at the end of the day, it's still, digital nothingness. And Dr. Disrespect did share the following: you don't have to have NFTs to play, and it doesn't change your experience of the game once it releases. The game will continue to be free to play. You can't buy your way to winning with NFTs. It won't be pay to win. However, for those of you who do want to get more involved, there are ways to do so via these NFTs. And the hype, of course, is that you'll get an item that's rare and unique only to you, and you can show it off and everyone will be jealous, and that's kind of what buying skins already in games is, except now you're gonna buy or extract an NFT that is quadruple the price, and that's just gonna, again, get people angry and jealous and upset with the community. You're going to see people trying to scam and people trying to cheat, and you better have some good-ass anti-cheat software in this thing, because people will. If money is involved, people are going to find a way to cheat and scam. They're going to form groups that become the best of the best of the best, and then they're going to push out all the players who just want to play for fun. It's this whole idea of you don't have to play for the NFTs. You can just play for fun. It'll be free to play, whatever. You're going to kill your user base. Most people will walk away from the game. And in a follow-up tweet, Dr. Disrespect talks about the future use of the NFTs and maybe how 7 years down the road, it'll be used in a different game, which is never happening. It's never happening. No game dev is going to get suckered into that weird thing where you have to implement an item or a skin or something from a previous game, so somehow the value of this non-existent fake item will still be perceived to be relatively worth something still after the game, this current game, ends and no one plays it anymore. That's the huge problem. How can you say this item is worth X and then maybe the life cycle of the game is 5-6 years, especially a free-to-play game? Unless he's assuming this is the next Counter-Strike or something that's going to be around for 20 years. I highly doubt that, especially with an NFT structure. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, imagine if you got the NFT for the Sword of Truth. The idea that this $100,000 Sword of Truth is going to be something that you can then take with you forever across the life cycle of his games, the Midnight Society's games, it seems like a big stretch and something that people who don't have a lot of experience with game dev would fall for. Because at the end of the day, there's no way that you take the Sword of a Thousand Truths and then the countless other NFT skins or whatever, and then push all those to a new project or to multiple projects. Just the amount of time and energy that would have to be added to the workflow to produce that game is hurting my head. But that's the thing with NFTs and crypto and whatever. If you think about it for a second, just think about it, you realize that it's all bullshit. And that's why they don't want you to think. They just want you to buy into the hype and see dollar signs and hope you can get in early and get that before it's too late when everyone else joins in like always, and then it collapses. like always. In other news, after 15 years, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi is back. Over the weekend, Bandai Namco announced the fateful return of the beloved fighting series at the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2023. The trailer was then released worldwide on Twitter before, well, Twitter broke again, and features gameplay from the previous games, along with new footage of Goku going Super Saiyan Blue. For those unfamiliar with the series of fighting games, they feature notable characters from the huge roster of Dragon Ball, and their over-the-shoulder 3D camera giving fights a very dynamic feel. At the moment, we don't really know what the release window is, or confirmed platforms, or even the title for the game. We just know that a new one is in development and on the way. Through the past 15 years, there have been a lot of additional characters and story arcs in the Dragon Ball universe, much more than when I was a kid. My friend Mike used to have that wall of like 40 VHS Dragon Ball Z videos. Man, we watch those all the time. So it'll be fun to see who's included and see what they're going to add to it, and I'm kind of here for it. Speaking of being here for it, you should be here a little more regularly. I'm missing you. Stick around more. You know, you can if you subscribe and then also hit the bell, because then it will notify you. And that's how I got to please subscribe. You know what? It was a stretch, but sometimes you need to stretch it out, baby. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.